my friends, here we go. Oh my days. Look at that. Oh my rich. Look at that. Wagwan, what's great? Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, welcome. And thank you very much for stopping by. My name is Chef Adrian Morris, and you're watching Morris Time Cooking.
We know about sardine, mackerel, chicken neck, chicken back. Nothing I waste, nothing I dash way.
Alright my friends, I have here 1.5 pounds of cow skin. It has already been burnt off to remove the excess hair and everything like that. However, I'm going to give this a wash and cut them up a bit smaller because I don't want them to be too big. You can add in here some meat if you want to, but for this one it's just strictly the cow skin that I'm going to be using. Wow, yeah, this take a while to cut, my boy. I'm just going to be cutting that smaller. Alright, so now we have everything nice and cut. We're just going to add a little bit of vinegar over that, and we're going to wash them off real quick. So about 1/4 cup of vinegar, add some water. Room temperature water is fine. And again, we're washing this to remove, because you realize they use the fire to burn off the hair. So I want to wash that and get it somewhat clean, right? Remove a lot of the debris that's on here. You want to wash your meat properly. If you have lime juice or lemon juice, you can add that to help the washing process, right? And of course, when these cook, some of them are a little bit bigger than some. When these cook, it will shrink up nicely, but I don't want it to be too much of a big chunk, so I cut them into smaller bits. So again, this is 1.5 pounds. Yeah, lots of debris is on here. Look at that water. Very cloudy. We're going to throw this off. I'm going to give it about 2 more wash. So we're going to pressure cook this. We're going to go into our instant pot. We're going to go in with a few garlic cloves. We have here a few allspice berries or pimento berries, and that will bring a little bit of flavor as well as to tenderize the meat. So we're going with about a tablespoon's worth, and then we're going to salt that to taste with about a tablespoon of salt, and then we're going to cover with water. So in total I have about 3 liters of water to 1.5 pounds. I'm going to add this on our pressure cooker, or in my case my instant pot. I'm going to allow this to cook for about an hour to get this nice and tenderized. If you're doing this on the stove top, chances are you're going to be using up a lot of gas or electricity. With the pressure cooker now, we cook this real fast and get it nice and tenderized. The greatest part about this meal, it's a 1-pot meal, meaning while that is going, we can go ahead and prep the rest of the ingredients. For example, we're going to peel the provisions and make some dough, put it aside, and we're good to go. Outside the snow fall, picnic in the background and bar in my video. Oh, it's all good, because we have some food to bring me comfort in the day. You see me I say? Yeah man, so lucky. Alright, so we're going to be making the dough, because I'm not going to be making too much provisions, or too much food rather. So we're going to go in with 1.5 cups of all-purpose flour. In your country, you may call it counter flour. It's the same one that we're talking about. Going to add a 1/2 cup of cornmeal, fine grain cornmeal. And to that, I'm going to add about a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. To make your dough, it's very straightforward. I have details video out on the channel how to make the basic boiled dumplings for soups, or even when you're making provisions for your meat, fish or poultry. Just the basic is just salt and flour and water. If you want to top it up a notch, you can go in with your cornmeal. Alright, some people like myself don't really like it with the cornmeal, but everybody else that lives here love the cornmeal, so I tend to add it from time to time. So, and the cornmeal provide a little bit more structure than your typical white flour dumpling, so to speak. You want to start off with about 1/4 cup of water to form the dough, and then you can gradually add based on your liking. We don't want this to be too hard or too soft. So we start off with around 1/4 cup of water, and then from there we just judge it. I normally like to use a spoon first to prevent my hands from being messy. To just bring that wet flour into a shaggy dough, like so. I'm going to gradually add some water. Mix. Alright. Going into your clean hands now. I like to use one hand to knead. So knead, lift, press, lift, press. So you lift the dough, push it into itself, and you continue that. If you rotate the dough, press until you form a nice smooth dough. See, this is not too sticky, so we can add, and we have loose flour, so we can add a little bit more water. About a tablespoon. So there. See that? Yeah. Nothing too crazy. And then we're just gonna knead this until it moves from a shaggy dough to a nice smooth dough. Clean down the bowl as you go. See? Our dough is starting to come together. You don't want it to look that rigid. You want it to look more smooth. So you continue kneading for about 5 to 10 minutes. Alternate your hands if you have to prevent your wrist from hurting, right? Alright, there we go. So it's way smoother than before. You see that? And when you touch it, the dough springs back. So look at that. When you press it like that, it's gonna spring back a little. So you know you have a nice dough. So we're just gonna leave this to rest, and then we're gonna knead it out again when we're ready for it. Again, everything is on the stove pressuring. So this is going to be resting for at least an hour. But we get it done, right? That will relax all the gluten in here. I'm gonna wrap my dough into plastic wrap so that I can wash the container and keep everything clean as I go. Just wrap this up to prevent it from being exposed to the air, so that it doesn't dry out. Alright? And just leave this on the countertop so it can rest. For this recipe, we're gonna go in with some nice sweet potato. Yeah, man. Nothing like when you add some sweet potato in a soup, especially that we're using red peas. Beautiful. And for this one, we're not using the orange sweet potato. We're using the purple skin, the Jamaican one. Right? This sweet potato is more dense. Cut off the edges. Give it a rinse. We're going to be using some Jamaican yellow yam, right? So for the sweet potato, it's about half pound of yam right here. Just going to peel that. When you're handling yam, you have to be careful, you know. Don't let the stains from the yam touch your skin, because it can be very itchy. Hold on. Hold on, Marco, hold on. Oh, she just wake up. Come. Oh, God. Alright. So we're going to squeeze some lime juice or lemon juice in here to prevent these from, you see how they're becoming brown? They call this oxidize. And you're going to rub a little bit on here. That will prevent these from becoming too brown. Yeah, stop it from becoming brown. They call it oxidize. So we're going to chop up our sweet potato. Cut that in half and then down the middle. You hear crying in the background. You don't know what's Saturday. Kids them they won't. So you know them have a cry. They're being taken care of still. I'm gonna cut that into about 3 because I want these to be nice and small. I don't want them to be overly big. bite-sized pieces. So this is ideal, nice little chunks. Alright, so for the yam, we're just gonna cut that same as we cut the sweet potato. Cut it in half and cube it nicely. So that's what you want, nice little chunks. You can cut them bigger depending on how you like your food in your soup, right? So there we go. We have the sweet potato and the yam, because we're going to be adding both of them at the same time. There's no need for me to separate them. We're going to leave them in this lime water on the countertop until we're ready to cook. Then we'll just throw this off, rinse it, and then add it to the pot, right? So I just sent to the store and I got some fresh green onion. We don't call it scallion because the root is white, it's not purple. However, when you're cooking and you check your fridge, whatever you have that's there that's going bad, use those up first. I still need a little bit more than this, so I'm going to go into some of the fresh one. Some of the ones that were already there, that's going a little bit bad. Don't use up your fresh produce before the ones that you have already. Use up the old ones first, right? To reduce waste. I waste not now, waste not now, that's why you know. You get what I say? So all you do is just trim off these dead leaves, or dead, you know, trim off these dead ones. You wash this nice and you're good to go. See, just break off the ends. Yeah, man. And we're just gonna wash these nice and clean. So I have about 5 to 6 here. This is what I like. I have some fresh thyme, a nice bunch of fresh thyme. I'm gonna give that a wash as well. 1 Scotch bonnet pepper, green preferably, and we have a few more garlic cloves. So we added some to cook the cow skin. Now we have a little bit more to finish off the dish, right? Because we need some nice fresh herbs in there. And lastly, 1 carrot. You know what I say? Carrot now, you can cut it into whatever shape. Cut it into half, right down the middle like so. I like to just cut them like a triangle, so something like that. There's no rules as to how you should prep your vegetables. Just make sure they're nice and chunky so they don't easily overcook, right? And that's it. You can add less or more depending on how much you like carrots, but just know too much carrots will make the soup sweet and you don't want that. We'll just add a little bit in there to give it color as well as a variety of texture. So we're going to add that to my bowl. For the garlic, I'm not going to chop them up. You can chop them. I'm just going to put my knife on top, press it. Yeah, just like that. Add that to the bowl. Add in the fresh green onion. Again, can't call it scallion, it's not purple root. And the fresh thyme and that green Scotch bonnet. So we're going to go in with a pound of red beans. So we're going to wash this about 2 times to remove any debris from this and foreign objects, right? And just dirt overall. A little bit cloudy. We're going to pour this off and then we're going to rinse one more time. And you realize how nice and clear the water is. That's what you want. We're just going to leave this as is to just sit on the countertop. You can do this overnight. So we're going to get the water soaked up by the beans and it will kind of expand them and soften it so it's easier to cook. But once the meat is almost done, then we're going to add the peas to it and cook them a little bit to tenderize them. You see what I say? But stay tuned. I will show you what I go on. So we have the yam and the sweet potato going. Don't mind all of these. That's the stain from the yam. We're going to rinse that off. Right? We have our carrots, our herbs and everything. Then we have the dough right there. And we have the peas. We're just going to leave this to chill out while that skin is being cooked. Alright, let's see. Nice. See, it's nice and soft. Now we're going to go into our washed kidney beans. Gonna stir that up. This is smelling good. Alright, we're gonna pressure this for about 30 minutes to get these pieces nice and tender as well. Alright, so this is what it looks like. As I said before, I'm not going to cook these peas all the way. Just cook them to an extent. So we're just going to add that to a pot, remove it from the pressure cooker. So for a dough, you want to pinch a piece like this and get it into a nice ball. You're just going to use your thumb, sink it in the middle like this. And there you go. You have a nice size miniature dumpling. Add that in. So you pinch another piece, roll it into a ball again. Once you get that ball, you're going to roll it like a cigar. There you go. We call these spinners. So you can choose in between which one you want in here. I like to give it a mixture of both. So we're going to do this until we get everything done. About half and half of the different variations. So we started out with 3 liters of water. See how beautiful everything looks? Top it up, top it up. Alright, now we're just going to go in with some hot water from the kettle. And this is around 2 more liters. So in total we have about 5 liters of water. And you realize it's still bubbling because we added the hot water. Give that a gentle stir. Ensure that there's nothing sticking and or burning at the bottom. At this point now, we're going to add our yams in, but first we need to get those washed. Alright, so now we're going to pour off that liquid. You realize how nice and white the yams look? Yes, that's because we kept it in the lime water. If we didn't do that, then everything would be brown, aka oxidized, right? So pour that off. Then we're going to go in some fresh water and we're going to rinse this at least twice to get rid of the lemon taste and as well as to clean them up nicely. So it's important to have the lime or lemon juice on them to keep them nice and vibrant looking. See that? Get off all of the debris off them, stain and everything. Give it another wash. Add the yam and the sweet potato in. Sweet potato give this such a beautiful flavor, especially when you're working with red peas. Give that a gentle stir. You see that? We have the right amount of liquid, right? Equal amount of liquid to food. It's not too overcrowded. And look how gelatinous these skins are. Look at that. Look at that. Nice and soft. Look at that. Give this a taste. Now remember, we added a little bit of salt from the beginning. I'm gonna taste that. Alright, to taste that cow skin powerful. However, this needs seasoning, so we're gonna season this up. So we're gonna go in with a dry soup mix. And you know me, if you're not new to the channel, I always strain this off. Why? Because I don't like these noodles in there. When the noodles are in there and they cook, they just don't give it a good presentation. So we're just gonna sift those out. We just need the flavor from this. Use your hand if needs be and just sift out the soup packets. And we're just gonna give that a gentle stir again. Alright, in terms of provisions, that's it. Some persons may add some chocho, some Irish potato, cassava, you name it. This is ideal for me. I don't want to overdo it. A little bit of yam, a little bit of dumpling, and some sweet potato to give it a nice, because sweet taste is perfect for me. You can add whichever provision that you like, but these are the ones that I like to stick to. And of course, a little bit of carrot to give us some color in there, right? So we have here 1 pack of coconut powdered mix, right? And we're going to add a little bit of the hot water from here, because again, we don't want to add too much liquid to this. Add the hot water in here. That will mix this out beautifully. Around 4 out of half cup of the liquid in here. Grab yourself a whisk and you just mix. And this mix out everything beautifully, no lumps or anything. You see that? I'm gonna add that coconut mix in. Superb. Oh my days. Of course, you're gonna grab some more. Give that a gentle stir. Now it's coming together beautifully, my friends. Grab some of that, pour it in here just to rinse out the bowl. Alright, we're gonna go into some all-purpose seasoning. At this point, you're gonna season to your liking. I'm gonna go into a tablespoon of all-purpose seasoning. Alright, if I need more in the end, I'll add more, but for now a tablespoon is fine. Mix that in. This color, this flavor, the smell, everything is just immaculate. You don't know if from me I make red peas and I can't do nothing unless I put a little bit of black pepper. So about a half teaspoon of black pepper in. Black pepper just elevate any peas dish. Yeah man. Mix that in. Alright. That is it. We're gonna cover this up on medium heat. I'm going to allow this to cook for about 15 to 20 minutes to get those yams cooked, softened, and to even thicken this liquid. Because if you look, a lot of persons will drink their soup like this, very runny. I don't like when my soup is too thick or too thin. This is too thin. For about 15 to 20 minutes, we'll cook these yams and then thicken with the starch from the dumpling and the yam. It will thicken the soup a little bit. So I'm going to leave that partially covered like this and allow this to cook for about 15 to 20 minutes, and then I'll show you what to do next. Alright my friends, you can see what I'm going. Yeah man, see it there now. So we're going to go into carrot and garlic. Then we're going to go into our fresh thyme and green onion. Again, it's not scallion because it's the white root one, right? So we're going to add those in. And I tie that just so it doesn't scatter all over the place. You don't have to do that if you don't have anything. And I use a butcher's rope. And then we'll have one green Scotch bonnet pepper. It's going to give that a squeeze. Burst it slightly. Drop that in. Yeah man. Now the thing turn up. Again, you can use whatever you want. Carrots, just give it a little bit of color. And just a little crunch. I'll put that in the very last minute. Stir that in. Submerge our seasonings, our herbs so to speak. And then we're going to get all that flavor now infusing in here. You see what I say? You can chop these up, leave them in. Or you can just take the flavor from them and then remove them afterwards. Allow that to cook now on the same medium heat, ensuring to double check in between the time to ensure that it's not sticking and or burning. Let's cook down a little bit more and we should be good to go. Alright my friends, I'm going to remove the pepper, then we're going to remove the thyme and the scallion, and that my friend is how you make your first bowl of red peas with cow skin soup. Look at that. Oh my days. We have food, we have meat, everything. Beautiful. Rich. Alright my friends, there we go. Oh my days. Look at that. Rich, look at that. Gelatinous. Hey, meat is just soft. Nice. Look at the sweet potato. This is just rich. Oh my days. Ready for eating now? When you're ready, put on them on. Balance. Creamy. Yeah man, right man. Good. Meat just nice and soft. Remember how robust this was? Look at this. See that? This was very robust. Now, it just melts. Not too bad. And that, my friends, is how you make me sweat. Excuse me. I needed that. That's how you make some Saturday soup. So if you love the vibe, make sure to give the video a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel. You have to try this. Some cow skin with red peas, extra protein. Oh God, man, the pepper not too hot. You know what tap it off to? Sweet potatoes, nice. Every bite you bite, every so often you get a little hint of that sweet. It's not nice. So, this was worth the wait. I'm going to settle down a little bit, get an next half bone. But you know what them say? When you drink soup, you drink a little water. And that's it, my friends. Leave a thumbs up on the video, leave a comment below. And say if you love my vibe, don't forget to hit subscribe. Jono, try it out at home. You won't be disappointed. Once again, thank you very much for watching. You see, until next time, safe travel upon the gravel. And go and big up on yourself.